All right, let's get to these pickups because there's some wild stuff that I got. Wild stuff. Okay. First off, we'll go with not. I thought this was going to be the favorite thing I got, and it kind of is, but there's other cool stuff too, so maybe not. But when I saw this, I had to get it, and I posted a photo of it already. But for $50, all right, I couldn't say no. I couldn't say no. A shadow box of Chrono Trigger. Look at that. You got the whole reflection. Hold on. This is like all the colors. All right, that's better there. See the shadow box of Chrono. I gotta pull it back here. There we go. Now you can see it. It's too many reflections. So it's a 3D shadow box of probably, I'd say, one of, if not the most famous scenes from the game, of my favorite game of all time. And it was the first thing I saw when I walked into the con, like the first day. I was like, damn, look at all the studio lighting reflection. Oh, I got the one-up mushroom lighting up. Look at that. You guys can see everything I have in my office. I got the lighting there. I got the lighting there. There, dude. So it's awesome, right? Right? So yeah, had to get that for the game room. Couldn't say no. Okay. Let's see. Then I had to buy a bunch of retro games because it was a retro game convention, so I couldn't say no to it. I had to. So I got 4 Super Nintendo games. And I even said to him, I'm like, when I bought these, I'm like, I don't know if I'm ever going to play these because I never play my Super Nintendo. I usually just emulate when I play it. But I do have it set up in the game room. And I do always want to play it. It's just a matter of do I have time for it. So 4 games, Namco, Aces High 2, Wings, Aces High. Awesome game, by the way. Played this back in the day. Great game. I never played this, but I heard a lot of good things about it, and it was only $6. It was HAL, Hole-in-One Golf from HAL Laboratories. So that's that one. And we got another HAL game. This is Hyperzone. This one costs a little bit more, but I know there's a lot of people that say it's a really good game. So there's this one. And then this one, people saying I had to pick this up. This game was amazing. And I'm like, I've never played it before. It's a Taito game called Super Chase HQ. So I don't know if you guys ever played this one, but I'm also reading the chat while I'm going through this. I'm just going through it really fast because there's a lot of stuff, but I'm reading what you guys are saying. So I promise I'm not ignoring. Good game, says Zelosi. That's what I hear. And then this one, I heard this was a really good game too. An Atlas game, Trauma Center, second opinion on the Wii. Never played the first one, but I heard good things about both of them, and I was like, sure. And then this one. This is one of the games that I picked it up, and I'm like, what the hell is this crap? And I posted this on X. So if you follow me on X, you'd be like, did you really buy it? Yes, I did. I really bought it. Because it's one of those games when you pick it up, if you don't buy it, you're going to be like, why didn't I buy that? So I was like, you know what? I'm buying it. And that is Electronic Arts Normies Beach Babe Orama for the Sega Genesis. It's going to be blurry, but it says Normies Beach Babe Orama. Never heard of this game before. It was $30. The price tag's there. $30. But the guy gave me a deal. Everything all together here was like, I think he said $60 altogether, which is a fantastic deal because Super Chase was $20 and Hyperzone was $15. And Normie's Beach Babe Orama was $30. So that's already $65 right there. So that's basically like getting these 3 games free and just paying almost full price for these, but less. Like, so great deal. That's the thing. You can't say no to the deals that they give you there. Must live stream. I probably should live stream a ROM of it. I probably should. Not a bad idea. Now I don't even remember what I put in this, but I bought this 3D printed question mark box because it was like cheap. It was like $10. And I was like, oh, this is a cool little storage thing for the game room. So I was like, sure. So let's see the goodies that I got in this thing. Let's see. We got, I don't know if Radical Reggie is still in the house, but we got a signed copy of Reggie's Radical Adventures on the NES, signed by the man, the myth, the legend himself, Radical Reggie. Signed copy of his game on NES. I'm telling you guys, like I got some pretty cool shit. I haven't even gotten to some of the crazy stuff yet either. So it's that. Got a couple police cars for the kids from the police. The police had a booth, the Arizona police, and I was like, hey, represent. Let's see. We got this is other stuff that's in here. There was a 3D printed place. So everything I bought was 3D printed. So these you can put on your game room wall. Had to get this. I was like, Super Smash Brothers, the logo, 3D printed with the colors perfect. I'm like, oh, that's amazing. And then I was like, oh, this would be good to put on my shelf for my Nintendo games. So there's that. Kira says, did you meet any of the Smashers chat members while you were there? I did. I met a bunch, but don't put me on the spot because there's so many people. I'm like, if you were there, say what's up in the chat and I can verify if I talk to you or not. Because yes, I'm like, okay, mental note of this name when I see it. But yes, there were a bunch of people there from the streams. But none of the people that show up nightly, so they may or may not be here right now. But yes, I have seen their names and I'm recognizing them. This one, Nintendo Switch 3D printed logo. I'm like, these are cool for like the game room. You can put them like in front of your collection to label the shelving units with the stuff on them. I was like, that's a good idea. And then I had to get this one because I have almost the entire N64 collection of games. And I had to buy this one just for that. It's so cool. It looks like it's legit like 3D, even though it's flat. It's like it messes with your mind when you look at it, but it's flat. See? Whoop, whoop. That's pretty cool. So that's that stuff from there. But wait, there's more. Hold on. We got a signed copy of Block'em Sock'em sealed from the immortal John Hancock, who has a YouTube channel as well. So shout out to John Hancock for the signed copy of Block'em Sock'em. It's a puzzle game, and there's the back of it here. And he sells these at all the conventions. So if you ever want this game or want a unique item, check him out. Same with Reggie and Reggie's Radical Adventures. They're at the cons that they go to. And have them sign your copies. It's awesome. So awesome. And they're unique too. Like you can't get them like anywhere else. It's not like these are like I'm sure they're available on eBay once in a while type thing, but it's different than the other tables that just have retro games that all the other retro tables have. So it's nice to see like unique next gen items for retro consoles. You know what I mean? John Hancock owns a lot of games. Yes, he does. I went to the Metal Jesus Rocks panel and he was talking about, I think he said he had 16 full collections, like Genesis, Mega Drive, N64. I don't know if he said NES, but he's got so many, like complete in box too. Like it's crazy. Complete collections of every game ever. It's insane. Okay, here's some other stuff. Speaking of signed games, let's see. Give me a second here. I need to figure out which one I want to show first. God, hold on. I think where is it? It's one of these. We'll do this one. So, signed copy of FX Unit Yuki from Saramaru, and Chris Tang is also in the game and provided voice acting, and he's also a character in it. And he was there next to Saro's booth. So I had Chris Tang and Saramaru both sign the instruction book. And Chris Tang also gave me a signed card of Chris Tang, Superstars of 2017. It says, if you're not familiar with Chris Tang is an accomplished game designer, cosplayer, and gaming tournament champ. He's best known for the Sega World Champion from the Rock 25,000 Sonic and Knuckles competition on MTV, but it was becoming a Nintendo industry. He's since contributed to titles such as Street Fighter 3, Third Strike, Marvel vs. Capcom, Transformers, Gauntlet 4, Primal Rage 2, and Tetris. Working on everything from game design and implementation to story writing, voice directing, and voice acting. Chris is currently the co-creator of Harbinger. As a cosplayer, Chris has won over 40 awards in competition. So he's also a part of FX Unit Yuki, and Saramaru is the game developer of it. And they gave me a signed copy on the Dreamcast. Now, to be fair, I'm friends with Saramaru. He's a great dude. And this is a great game, by the way, if you haven't played it. I have a review of FX Unit Yuki up on SmashAT.com. But it's a great game. And what was I going to say? Oh, I already have a copy of this from Saramaru from the last convention. And I told him when I first saw him, I was like, dude, I'm so mad at myself. I forgot to bring FX Unit Yuki to have you sign it. And he goes, oh, bro, don't worry about it. I'll just give you another one. I'm like, I don't want to take another one of your games. You gave it to me last time. It's like, it's not a problem, man. Don't worry. I was like, that was so nice of him. It was so nice of him. Let me see. What else? If he's still in the house, Radical Reggie gave me Smelter, which is, I think it's EU only. And it's a Switch Metroidvania, I believe. It says, you are Eve, fresh out of Eden and armed with living suit of armor. Explore a dangerous new world, battle its bizarre denizens, and expand your empire in the desperate journey to find Adam. It's a strategy action platformer. It's a little bit blurry. Yeah, it's not going to focus. Sorry. But this is like kind of a hard to find game. I remember telling Reggie, I was like, oh, I was looking for it last year. And he's like, oh, I traded it in. I was like, oh, damn, I would have bought it from you. He's like, oh, don't worry about it. And he had it this year for me. I was like, dude, thank you. It was like so nice of him. No, they don't region lock Switch games. So you can play that on any Switch, as far as I understand. And the last game that I got, I couldn't say no to this one. And I'll be definitely reading the chat for this because I'm curious to know if you guys, one, know this game. And two, if you have any thoughts or reviews. It's an Xseed game called Silent Hope, Day 1 edition, sealed. And I got it for $35. And the guy gave it to me with the Metroid pin. This was an $8 pin. It's a huge pin. It's huge. And he gave them both for $40 cash, no tax. So Silent Hope, not a clue. But it looks almost like a Secret of Mana type style. It says, brave the abyss, return to base camp, and improve your skills in this dungeon crawler action RPG. 7 heroes, 1 mission, craft weapons and items from mysterious materials found in the depths. I'm like, damn, that strikes me as a game right up my alley. And it was $35. And the guy selling it, he's like, look, man, I'm not trying to oversell you on this. He's like, I guarantee you that's going to go up in price. He's like, it's only $35 right now. It's sealed. And it comes with the art book, CD soundtrack. I was like, I can't say no. I can't say no to that. Sassy Ghost says, I've heard good things. Demon Carl says, fucking bargain. Deco Leader says, I swear I've seen this before. Yeah, I've never seen it before. I don't know if I've even heard about it. You can upgrade it for 20% more to the Switch too. Exactly. Nintendo is so out of touch with what people actually want. Like, yeah, it's such a beautiful package. Exactly. Like, you can get this for $35 on the Switch with an art book and CD, Or you can spend $80 on stuff on the Switch 2 and upgrade games that you already have. It's like, well, why are people going to buy a Switch 2 again? I mean, I'm sure there's reason for it, but yeah. So that's all the games. Holy crap, there's a lot of stuff. Hold on. I got this. I got a couple of these. I gave one to Radical Reggie. I gave one to my daughter, and I might give this to one of my brothers. I'm not sure, but it's so cool. It's one of those lenticular. Look at that. Return of the Jedi, Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, with how you turn it. I was like, oh man, that is so cool. And it's like really high quality. It's just by different angles that you look at it. And they're usually $20. The guy gave it for 10. I was like, I can't say no for 10. And I bought 3 of them, and he gave me 3 of these for $25, which is almost the price of one of them. I was like, damn. Right. Oh, give me, damn, I want that. Well, the other one I had was a Metroid one that I really wanted, and Reggie really wanted one, and he went over to get it, and he said they sold out, so I gave it to him because Reggie's such a legend. And Reggie was giving me stuff all weekend. And I was like, I gotta get this guy back. So I gave the Metroid one to Reggie. And the Metroid one is amazing. I'm like, next year, I'm going to be buying that Metroid one if I see it. What else? We got a couple more things. We got, oh, I don't know if Jay Watt is in the chat, but Jay Watt sent me this sweatshirt that I wore all weekend, Gamers Revolt sweatshirt. It's amazing. So shout out to Jay Watt for that. And I bought some pins to put on my hat, and my hat was getting so heavy because these pins are so heavy that I had to put them on my jacket because it was actually giving me a headache. But I got this Blanca pin that glows in the dark, and it spins. I was like, dude, it's die cut spinning Blanca that glows in the dark. I was like, it's amazing. And then I had to get the Samus one with firing, and it moves. I was like, man, I'm not much of a pin guy, but these are like legit pins. And another one that I got was Luigi's Mansion. I put it on my son's cappy. And this glows in the dark too. And it goes back and forth. It's pretty cool. Okay, and let's see. Couple more things. Almost done. Last day of the event, my son won this in the claw machine. When they were shutting down the arcade, he got it before they unplugged it. And he's like, I don't even need this, Dad. You can have it. I know you like Donkey Kong. I was like, really? He's like, yeah, you can have it. I was like, oh my God, you're the best. So that was given to me by my son. And last but definitely not least, this might be my favorite thing from the event. And I know it's not like the most expensive thing, but it has the best story behind it. All right. The nerd glove. So I went to the RetroWare booth, and Justin Silverman was there, and I think he was going to give me one, but I wanted to thank him for all the support. He's been there for me in recent years. He's been amazing, and I was like, I want to support him, so I bought this, and I bought a nerd pin. I put the nerd pin right there. I bought the nerd pin, which is a legit, like high quality die cut pin for the nerd. And I bought this with it. He was like, oh, you bought it? I was like, yeah. He's like, oh, thanks, man. Thanks for the support. I was like, yeah, no problem. I was like, these are awesome. The middle finger of the power glove. Are you kidding me? That's amazing. And the next day, because James Rolfe was there, and well, even before we get to the next day, so we went out to dinner with everyone, and we were walking back, and John Riggs and James Rolfe, the nerd, were just sitting at the table outside the hotel, just chatting after like having a drink and dinner or whatever. I don't know what they were doing. They were chatting, and it was like 11 o'clock at night. And I was with Nerdy Nick from N Squared Podcast, and he was like, "Oh, there's AVGN right there." I was like, holy shit. Like he had a line wrapped around the whole convention. Like everyone was trying to get with this guy. And wait, JT needs to play the It's So Bad clip. Oh yeah, I do. I really do. But in a second, Um, so we saw him there, and I was like, "Oh my god, this guy was trying to like talk to tell him like, oh, he's one of the reasons I started my channel back in the day. Like, I used to look up to this guy so much and try to emulate him in some of my older videos and stuff. So it was like surreal seeing him there. And Nick walked over to him and introduced me to him. It was like, yeah, it's fine. I was like, whoa, like I was having like a hardcore nerd out moment. I was like, "Hey, James, big fan. I've been watching you since forever. I've seen everything. Big fan." He's like, "Oh, like he was so down to earth. He's like such a normal dude." He's just like, "Oh, thanks. Like that's cool." Like no big head on him. No, nothing like, "Oh, I'm Hollywood." No, he was just like another dude. Just like, "Oh, thanks for watching him, man. Appreciate you." I was like, "Well, that's cool." And my son, oh, I got to show you guys. It was hysterical. Hold on, because the night before, I was telling my son about him, and my son wasn't too familiar. I think my son had seen a couple of the episodes way back in the day, but um, I was like, "Oh, this guy is at the convention, and we're gonna try to see him tomorrow. I don't know how long the line's gonna be." And he's like, "Okay." So we bought the glove. This is before we saw him after dinner. That's my son with the glove. Man, I gotta fix the blurriness on this thing. But here we go. So before I even show this, the AVGN, I was showing him the TMNT episode of it, the one where he's like trying to get over that little block that's missing, but you keep hitting the ceiling and falling down, and then go through the whole level again. And you have to do like a perfect jump that he keeps falling down. And he's losing his mind over and over again. And then at the end, he's like, he just walks over and he stops and he's like, wait, you can just walk over the gap and it hops over automatically. You don't have to try to jump and fall. And he loses his shit. And my son saw it. This is my son's reaction. What do you think about the angry video game there? I literally can't breathe. Oh my god. He's pretty funny, isn't he? Yeah. Oh my god. So yeah, we watched a few AVGN episodes that night. So he knew who he was the next day. Yeah, he was literally ruffling. So he knew who he was, and I was like, "This is the guy from that TMNT video that you watched last night that you were rolled on the floor laughing." And he's like, "That's him." I was like, "Yes, that's him." And he's like, "Whoa, this is wild." So like almost immediately, my son was like, "Oh my god!" Like it was like surreal for him. So got a picture taken with James Rolfe, which I mean, I'm pretty sure everyone saw because it was like 16 or 1700 likes on X. But if you haven't seen it, this is at the dinner. Oh, it's so blurry. God, it's so blurry. Sorry. But that's the best I can do because when I go closer, it gets really blurry. But great picture of them. And it was really cool. Talked to him for like 15 minutes there, just chatting it up. And it didn't feel like I was like overstaying my welcome because one, I mean, I know John Riggs, so I was chatting with John Riggs too and Nick, and we all like knew each other. So it wasn't awkward or weird, but still, I kind of felt like I was like, I really don't want to be overstepping my welcome with this. But it was such a cool, surreal moment. And then the next day, we went to be like, oh, because the booth was so crazy, we want to try to get a signature from him. And the booth was so crazy that we're like, oh, we'll come back on Sunday and it might be less of a line. And Sunday it was just as bad. And then we went to the AVGN Cinemassacre panel, whatever. And at the end of the show, James walked to the front of the stage and everyone was like trying to get some sign from him and everything. So I walked over and I was like holding this up. I was like, James, like everyone else was. And Justin saw me. He's like, Smash, bro, just come to the backstage, man. You don't need to do this. I was like, what? Really? He's like, yeah, just go backstage with us. I was like, okay. So I went backstage and James signed the back of the nerd glove. And so he had like the marker on it, but he's like, it doesn't really etch into it very well. But I'm like, it doesn't matter. I got a picture of him signing. My son was holding it while he was signing it. And it was more the moment that we had there with my son getting it signed. It was just like making his trip. It was amazing. In the backstage area, like watching him chat with everyone from Rex Viper and Cinemasker. It was amazing. It was amazing. So Skeg says, you're big time now. I will never know what that feels. I will always be surprised. I will never be Hollywood, guys. I was just like, oh, really? Um, and that is everything. I think that's everything. I think there's other smaller stuff I got for like my daughter and my wife and stuff and my son, but that's basically all like the video game stuff. And it was an amazing, amazing time. And like I said, I don't typically do pickups videos, but I mean, I kind of had to with this stuff because it was just so cool, you know. Um, but yeah, whew. Just like talking through that, reliving it is just getting me all amped up again. It was such a good weekend.